Welcome to Remember Who the Fuck You Are. This free 5-day boot camp will change your life if you let it. Who are you? The cycle breaker. The cycle breaker in your family. And the highly successful woman who would do anything for her family, even heal for them. I am honored and grateful to meet you. Hello, I am Rebeccah Silence. If we're meeting for the first time, it is such an honor. If you are not new to my world and here and have been around, I am so grateful for you too. And I just want you to know, you are and have everything you need to have a very life-changing, profound experience with me over the next 5 days. I want you to take this seriously. I want you to come on live as often as you can to get the full experience. And I want you to really see yourself as the person who's going to be the #1 success story out of this whole experience with me. Not the person who it doesn't work for because you've tried it all already and nothing has worked yet. Really be willing to see yourself differently, to see things differently, to be wrong about anything keeping you stuck, keeping you stressed, or keeping you suffering. Let's not defend what we don't want anymore. I'm about to take you on a journey where you're learning the fundamentals and the foundation of my process, the practice of emotional healing. This work has changed countless lives around the world, and it's bringing you the best of therapy. I'm actually trained to diagnose you, but I'm not going to because there isn't a damn thing wrong with you. There's literally nothing wrong with you. And I'm bringing you the best of over a quarter century of clinical experience and research and case studies. I have had over 1,000 success stories in my private practice, and I am fast tracking and streamlining healing for you. Healing meaning freedom. If it hurts, it hasn't healed. And I am the coach that I'm going to tell you, there's no case too far gone or too dark or ravine too deep or skeleton in your closet that's going to scare me. There just isn't. I've seen it all. It can absolutely, absolutely, absolutely all heal. There is so much hope for you here. There is so much possibility for you here. Today is day 1, and we are going to talk about something feels off. Why, right? You get it. You do your best. You care so much. Your intentions are so pure, but something still feels off. Let's get into why. There's a difference between the part of your brain that understands and the part of your brain that helps your nervous system feel safe enough to emotionally process and release and heal. If you're here, I know you've already done so much work on yourself. By the time people get to me, they get it, right? They understand. They've looked at themselves, their patterns, their past, and they could write a memoir, right, on where they came from and how it shaped them. But something still feels heavy or stuck, and you understand. Understanding isn't enough to heal you. Thinking isn't enough to heal you. Talking about it ad nauseum ain't gonna heal you either. We gotta feel, boo. We gotta open up our hearts again, tear down that guardedness and those walls, and get rid of that armor. And you might be thinking, oh, hell no. Bear with me, stay with me. Again, I need you with me the full 5 days to get the full experience. And I promise to make it worth it for you. Understanding won't heal you. Emotional healing will. You have been told a lie that the work of healing is never done. Not true. It can heal so fast and so fully and so permanently, but you gotta be brave. And you have to be willing to go first so that your kids have a healed parent who's emotionally available, emotionally safe, and emotionally healed. What almost every family does not have is emotional safety in their home, which is why I'm doing this boot camp completely complimentary, because I want to teach you the fundamentals and the foundational pieces of the practice of emotional healing so that you can be the cycle breaker in your family, creating emotional safety for your family, then for your business, then for every life you touch. Now, emotional safety doesn't mean you take it, other people's bad behavior, and hold space for it in a way where you're negatively impacted. Emotional safety just means you're so emotionally regulated that circumstances and other people, especially other people that are emotionally dysregulated, none of it dysregulates you. You can be regulated even in the face of somebody else's emotional dysregulation. You can be so emotionally regulated that even really, really hard moments don't turn you into somebody you're not proud of. You're going to meet a version of you this week that you don't know yet. I want you so emotionally safe that you love yourself and you trust yourself and you're safe with yourself, knowing there's nothing you can't handle. There's no situation that the most healed, highest version of you can't navigate, figure out, or handle. Every family deserves emotional safety. And I am so freaking grateful that you're here. And I have so much goodness for you. I'm trained to diagnose you, but nothing's wrong with you. You just haven't known how to be safe with your emotions yet, or other people's emotions yet. And I'm going to make this really freaking simple. Not easy, but really, really simple. You deserve happiness and peace and a joyfully fulfilling experience no matter what you faced or what you're facing now. And I know a lot of you are here really going through it. Health issues, financial issues, business issues, issues with your kids, issues with your spouse, issues with your ex-spouse, issues with parents, issues with siblings, friends. It's all welcome here. And this is where you come to remember who the fuck you are and to bring it. We need more of you. We need all of you. We need your power turned back on and your heart cracked open. And that is medicine. Medicine for every life you touch. Some of where this came from was me working in a psychiatric hospital and realizing most of the patients weren't mentally ill to the point where they couldn't fully heal. They had been, in so many cases, written off. And I was very young and decided there had to be a better way. And I made my life about figuring out how to help people fully heal. So later, I got a master's degree in counseling. Did you know? Most traditional therapy, we're taught to help you manage and cope, not fully heal. I got a master's in counseling. And like so many of you in my world, I was the star student. I got a 4.0 grade point average in my master's program. And then I found myself in a domestic violence marriage, to my horror, with a young child. Exactly how I'd grown up. I grew up in domestic violence and incest, and there was no emotional safety in my family, in my home. I grew up in an alcoholic house. And I had thought, okay, I understand it. That's enough to heal it. But it wasn't. So I got out of the domestic violence marriage with a 2-year-old, went bankrupt, foreclosed on the house, rebuilt myself in my life, and figured out what had been missing in all of my graduate work and all of the work that I had already done and what I'd learned. And I came up with the practice of emotional healing, which was the missing, because when we're triggered, and if I do my job right this week, you're going to get triggered. We want to see where we're healed and where we're not yet with the practice of emotional healing. Healed means freedom. It doesn't hurt me anymore. It doesn't mean I like it or accept the unacceptable, but I'm the healed, free, unshakably whole, resting in joy as the rule I live by, love that I am, no matter what's going on, right? When I'm emotionally healed. And we all have that ability to be emotionally healed and free, literally, in the face of anything. And I figured it out. I've been helping people heal since 2002. Over 1,000 success stories in my private practice. I stopped counting how many clients I've had at 1,000, but there have been hundreds since then. And every case was a success story, because there's nothing we can't fully heal. No trauma. So how do I define trauma? It's just heartbreak. And I'm not here to tell you you're never going to get heartbroken again, or you're never going to get triggered again, even after you understand emotional healing. But I can tell you, you can get back to the healed you faster than you can imagine once you understand emotional healing, and you can trust it's safe to keep your heart open, to be in your body, fully present in the moments that go your way and in the moments that aren't going your way. And you can be that role model and that example for your kids, bringing emotional safety into your home when you didn't have it growing up. And for so many of you, you created financial safety and financial security thinking that would make home feel more safe. But it doesn't work like that. And I'm not taking away from how hard you've worked or what a beautiful provider you are. I just know that what's missing for almost every family in their home is emotional safety. And I know what a game changer it is when kids have emotionally healed parents that know themselves, love themselves, trust themselves, and are safe with themselves. Then their kids learn they can be someone who knows themselves, loves themselves, trusts themselves, is safe with themselves and any emotion. Imagine your kids getting to grow up being who they are, not who they're expected to be, walking on eggshells, trying not to set anyone off. You said yes to remember who the fuck you are. And that will give your kids permission to learn who they are, and then later to remember who the fuck they are too, in the best way. You're the cycle breaker. And that doesn't mean everybody in the family suddenly heals and transforms and changes and shows how you want them to. It means they're loved fully, unconditionally, and they have your example of emotional safety, and there's nothing better than that. When the woman in the family heals, the family heals. That doesn't mean everybody starts behaving perfectly and that everything starts going her way and that her kids never act out again. That's not what that means. What it means is she's at peace. Her heart is open. She's emotionally available and regulated and centered and the best of herself. No matter what. What would it mean to you to be so free and who the fuck you are, the best of you, no matter what? What would that mean for your kids? Pop it in the chat. Pop it in the comments. I really want to know. I want you so unshakably whole and able to give and receive the love you are, the medicine you are, no matter what. And I'm seeing heads nodding. Why is that important to you? What is missing in almost every home is emotional safety. It isn't safe to have emotions, to be fully authentic and honest and transparent about what you need, what you want, and what you feel. In almost every house, there isn't emotional safety. And for all of you that are here, it gets to begin with you that emotional safety is part of what it means to be a part of your family. And this isn't a value, it's foundational. Your family having emotional safety means everybody is safe to know themselves, love themselves, and trust themselves. And they don't need to walk on eggshells or try not to upset anybody. Picking and choosing what emotions are safe, what words are safe, what needs are safe, what desires are safe, is how almost every child is brought up. And we learn to be who we're expected to be, not who we are. So you here, remembering who the fuck you are, means your kids have that example. You here, remembering who the fuck you are, and willing and committed to learn emotional healing so you can be emotionally available, so you can be emotionally vulnerable, so you can be so emotionally safe that you're not threatened by other people's emotions or triggers or needs or words or wants. This is the game changer. This is the game changer. And again, there are two different parts of your brain required for healing. You've, I believe, with all my heart, already built the muscle, big time, of the understanding piece of it. You get it. On some level, you get what you grew up with and what parts of it were great and what parts of it weren't and what parts of it felt safe and what parts of it didn't. And you know the storyline. But now let's think about this for a moment. Feel into one word to describe the icky, sticky feeling in your home growing up. And pop it in the chat for me if you're open to. What, or the comments. What did it feel like growing up? Give it a word. And I really want to know your word. What did it feel like growing up? We've got single moms on here, kids with mental health issues, people saying it's important that they heal completely because they tend to react differently to the chaos around them, having 4 kids, youngest is 4 and very active. I could be more present than withdrawn and isolated. Amen. Stifling is a word someone's giving me. Give me more words. What did it feel like growing up? See, now, feel into true or false. You still feel that way today in your home with the family you dreamed up, with the kids you dreamed up, with the spouse you dreamed up, or the spouse you dreamed up and then divorced because it felt the way it did growing up, and maybe part of you thought they were the problem. How it felt growing up is how love and marriage and family and ultimately relationships all feel until you heal, okay? So there's this one part of your brain that understands, and I'm not the scientist, so I'm not going to try to go into the science behind this. If any of you are the scientists that understand these brain pieces, send me the TED Talk. But what I know for sure is there's part of your brain that understands, and that is not the part of your brain that heals. There's a whole different part of the brain that helps you heal. But even more than that, We have understanding, which will never heal you, which is why some of you are stuck and really frustrated because you freaking get it, man. You get it, you get it, you get it. And then we have our nervous system that has to be emotionally safe for the healing to happen. So there's a part of your brain that works with your nervous system, and I am primarily, for the next 5 days, talking to your nervous system, not your brilliant mind. And I want us to do a lot of feeling together throughout this Remember Who the Fuck You Are boot camp, and not just trying to analyze or think our way into a new experience, because it doesn't work like that. You can't understand or think your way into feeling differently. And if you want to have a different experience, you have to feel. But if you've guarded and protected your heart and said, oh, I'm not going to put myself in a position to get hurt again, there is no healing available for you. We've got to learn how to process on a nervous system level, so emotionally we feel safe enough to tear down the wall around our heart and the armor around our heart. And here's another really hard truth. You've already survived heartbreak. So why are we pretending like we couldn't survive it again? Why are we pretending like it's a good idea to guard and protect our heart from further heartbreak? And I'm not saying, oh, bad news, open your heart and I'm going to guarantee you're heartbroken again. I don't want you to hear me that way. I just want you to know life's going to keep lifing, and if your heart gets broken because you decided you're the generational cycle breaker and you're keeping your heart open, and your family and every life you touch, personally, professionally, even in your business, gets the best of you, there might be a time where life shows you another trigger that hasn't healed yet. Every trigger equates to there's heartbreak there that didn't heal. You can survive heartbreak, but you don't have to survive the heartbreak in the survival mode or survival self-protective response or mode. You can survive the heartbreak healed. A big lesson that you'll learn starting on day 2 tomorrow is the difference between survival you and healed you. And let me also introduce, you probably haven't met the healed you yet, right? Nobody wakes up in the morning and knows who the healed version of themselves is. We don't wake up and know who we are. We wake up and realize we're surviving, whether we had those words for it or not. And from there, we design who the fuck you are. That first domestic violence marriage, I married a guy with the last name Silence. People ask me all the time, where'd that name come from? It was my first husband. And I kept it because I loved who I became as Rebeccah Silence. I didn't know I was still committed to silence when I married him. I didn't know I was still afraid of conflict and violence and abuse, and I was still afraid to be too much because I thought if I'm too much, I could set people off, because that's how I grew up. So this me has spent over $1 million to be trained, educated, and to have done the research to teach you what I'm teaching you. And I've literally seen it freaking all. There's no case you could throw at me that I wouldn't have a story to tell you, oh yeah, I've seen this, it's fully healed. And I've often gotten the cases traditional therapy couldn't help. Traditional personal growth work couldn't help beyond the understanding to actually facilitate the healing over and over again. And then the first thing people say to me every time they hire me is, why didn't I hire you sooner? Where have you been? But what I know is, by the time you're in front of me, you're just ready to heal. And that's why you're here. And the divine timing is perfect. And I can save you so much money, so much time, and so much heartache if you'll just take this seriously and dive in. And you are. That's why you're here. So I'm not going to make any part of your life worse this week. I am not going to threaten the success you've built. No way. I'm going to help you get back to the best of you. I'm going to help you meet parts of yourself and a version of yourself that you haven't met yet that will take your breath away. I'd love for you all, if you're not driving and in a safe place, to close your eyes and consider a couple of truths. Number one, you are so beautiful. Your heart is so beautiful. How much you care, how much you love, how much you give. You're extraordinary. It has never been true that you're too much. We need more of you. We need the volume turned all the way up on the truth of who you are, especially in the moments where you're afraid it's going to be too much. You've never been not enough. You are more than enough. And it is safe to be brave and to say yes to meeting who you're capable of being. It is safe to be powerful. It is safe to have a voice and opinions. And you care about right action for people. So what you want to say and what your opinions are actually could be healing and make a difference. And when you hold back, you're cheating people. I want you to be so who you are and willing to risk it that you repel the people that don't want to love you well, that don't want to love you back, that don't want to love you for who you really are. Anybody that wants you to just be who they need you to be, how they need you to be, can fuck right off, because you're here to remember who the fuck you are and to walk that out and to live it, no matter if people are comfortable or not. And it is about damn time that you're more concerned that you're not uncomfortable because you're being inauthentic, so other people aren't uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. Well, you're really comfortable rocking who you are, owning it, working it, loving it, letting it be the most correct choice you could make to be fully who you are because you're coming from pure intention. This crowd in my world, I don't have to worry about, are your intentions pure? Yes, feel this. Ugly cry if you need to. Your nervous system has been holding on to stress and survival and trauma long enough, and you get to be fully free. And if I can be free with my story, if all my clients over the years can be free with their stories, oh my God, I promise you can be free in yours. And it can be completely different moving forward. You've done enough understanding. Now it's time to heal. Now it's time to own your greatness and to find out who in your life wants to meet you at your highest and who doesn't. And the ones that don't, guess what? It's their loss, not yours. And you don't have to believe me. But I just want your nervous system to consider the possibility that anyone that doesn't want to love you, resting in your wholeness, resting in your power, heart wide open, so full of love, you're not missing out. They are. And this can be really hard because sometimes it's family. But I also want you to know it's time to love yourself and to give to yourself as much as you loved and given to everybody else, especially your spouse, your kids, your ex-spouse. You're experiencing love at the level you give yourself, not at the level you give others. And I want your kids to see you loving yourself so fiercely and so fully. They know how to love themselves too. They aren't learning how to receive love based on the love you give them. They're learning how to receive love based on how much they watch you love yourself and how well they watch you love yourself. You've got to prioritize you if you really want to be the medicine in your family and the cycle breaker in your family. So go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. There's nothing we can't handle. There's nothing we can't heal. There's nothing we can't navigate together. And you don't need to know how it's going to heal. I just need you to believe it can all heal, and you being as fully alive and fully expressed and fully authentic as you can be. It's the best gift you could give anybody you care about, anybody you love. The regulated you, so regulated nothing and no one can dysregulate you. The you who knows how safe it is to keep your heart wide open. That's who I want to invite you to meet this week. Next piece is I want you to write down, what do you want? Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat if you're here live. What is the number one thing right now in your life you want for you personally? And I really want to see your answers. And I'm going to tell you, in all my years of experience, this is the hardest question I ask, which is why we're doing this day 1 and getting it over. I want to know what you want. Most of the time, women tell me, I don't know. I don't know what I want. And if that's you, just stay with me for a minute. Because what I believe is, it isn't that you don't know what you want, it's you're afraid to admit it out loud. You're afraid to connect to the truth of it and voice it. But you do know. Give it to me. Those of you here live. I want peace. I want to stop second guessing myself and to be confident as a woman and as a mom. Awesome! Yes! Yes, Teresa. And do you know that you can have peace and be confident that the best of you just did her best, even when life's lifing, even when shit's sideways, even when things aren't going well or going your way? You can still have peace and you can still be confident. I got Erin telling me she wants breathing room and financial freedom, ease in everything. Okay. This is all available. This is all available. And I know some of you have a dream for your family. Some of you have a dream of love. Some of you have business goals and dreams. But I want you to write it down and claim it and share it with me in the comments whenever you're watching. The number one thing I want right now is, because that's going to be our guiding light over the course of these 5 bootcamp days together. And we have to start with possibility. We have to start with, what do you want, to give you the motivation to become the woman it takes to experience that. I don't just focus on, okay, what's wrong? Now, we get to that because we have to. We have to deal with what's misaligned, what's off, what's in the way. Where's the gap between who you are and what you want? But I want our focus to be, this is what I want. And here's who I choose to be to experience it. And to model for my kids, they can have this or whatever they want. Did you see your mother get what she wanted? And if not, what did that do for your heart? How did that feel? Your kids, if you stick with me, can have a mom that got what she wanted. And then they know they can get what they want. Yeah. Someone saying, watching her mom had her feel like less of a woman and unappreciated. Life's going to feel how it felt growing up. And our ceiling of what is possible for us, this is so important, what I'm about to say. Our ceiling isn't based on what we believe is possible because we've seen other people get it outside of our family. Our ceiling is based on what we saw modeled in our family system. That's it. That's all we can have. And that's why cycle breaking is so challenging, because you haven't ever seen anybody else in your family likely create what you want. And you're never going to get their approval or permission. And now it's safe to go prove you can have it. You got to be brave without the approval, without somebody having gone first. You're the one to go first. Every single family has a cycle breaker in it. Hello, it's you. Now, this doesn't mean pressure. You don't, as the generational cycle breaker and trauma healer, quite frankly, in your family, have a responsibility to heal every single person in your family. You just have a responsibility to model living the vision on your heart fully. All the generational cycle breaker's job is to model new possibility for her family. Now somebody in the family did this with money. Now someone in the family did this with peace and emotional regulation. Now someone in the family did this in business or did this with health. And just like you have never been too much, neither are your dreams. You could ask for way more. And I'm living this too. Everything I'm telling you, I've gone first. I'm client zero. I live my work. The marriage I have now, the second marriage, it's a dream. I wake up every day, chosen, never questioning how much my husband loves me, how safe it is to be loved and to be so open. My kids have 2 healed parents. My weekends are joyful. There's no volatility in my house. We reason things out. We get closer in the face of conflict. Did you know you could actually get closer in the face of any conflict to the other person? Did you know that? You can with emotional healing. Not with mindset work, not with strategy. I promise you can have it too. Now, do people get triggered in my house? All the time. But we know how to navigate it. We know how to work through it. We know how to make it our bitch, get closer on the other side, find solutions that work for everybody, and we're in it together. What would it be like if your version of it was your everyday? And life keeps lifing. We have aging parents, health issues, parenting heartbreaks as the kids grow up. And they were raised to be who they are, not who they're expected to be. Life happens. But emotionally, we're safe. What would it be like to be the creator of emotional safety in your home for your family? The generator of emotional safety. And emotional safety doesn't happen because you got your way or you got them to change so you could be okay. It's not what we're doing. Write this down. Nothing and no one needs to change for me to be okay. Nothing and no one needs to change for me to be okay. Now write down, nothing and no one needs to change for it to be safe for me to be all of who I am. Nothing and no one needs to change for it to be safe for me to be all of who I am. You are safest when you remember who the fuck you are, and you are all of who the fuck you are. You are the safest. This is Buddha hanging out with me. Buddha says hello. We joke because before I got married the second time, I had 2 rescue dogs. We lost the second one this year. She was 16. The first one passed away 6-7 years ago. They were both rescue dogs that had grown up with a lot of trauma. This guy, is so healed. He's never had any trauma. My husband has, at the time I'm recording this, a 25-year-old. I have a 21-year-old. They both grew up with some more stuff. Our 11-year-old that we have together, of course, she'll experience life and some traumas along the way. But she's like Buddha. Like, she's growing up with these healed parents in an emotionally safe environment from the jump. It's a different animal. When your kids are processing their emotions and life in real time, not decades later, like we've had to do. 2 quick stories for you on that front. The second day of school here in Colorado for my 11-year-old, she's in 6th grade at the time I'm recording this, there was a bomb threat. The kids were on lockdown for 2 hours. There were buckets and closets for the kids to pee. They had to be very quiet. They couldn't move. Now that could be a lifelong memory that felt traumatic. My kid, we were able to spend hours the night this happened processing what happened and processing the emotions around what happened. Not just talking about it, because again, understanding, talking, it's not enough to heal you. We let her feel the emotions. And it wasn't threatening, and it wasn't triggering. It was completely safe. The next day, my husband Mark took the 11-year-old to a rage room while I was at dance class. I'm processing a dance class, somatically releasing. Mark and Seneca went to a rage room and broke shit and got it out. And she might remember this bomb threat, but it's not going to be a lifelong trauma. Just yesterday, the 11-year-old, her bestie, and I went paddleboarding. There was a windstorm out of nowhere. I had checked the weather. It wasn't supposed to rain. Wasn't supposed to be any wind. There was a windstorm. We are paddling against the wind. So many of the people that were out on this reservoir on their paddleboards had to take their paddleboards just off to the side, let the wind carry them, and then figure out where their cars were. Those 2 little girls and I paddled our way through it. And instead of it being a traumatizing experience, I stayed regulated the whole time. We got to the shore and these girls are proud of themselves. And they're feeling like they are so strong. They are such a good team. They did it. It could have been a mess. If I freaked out, they would have freaked out. They were scared, but we just stayed regulated, remembered who the fuck we were, kept paddling, kept breathing, got to the shore. This is going to be a non-issue in their lives in a negative way. If anything, it'll be a memory that they're proud of. I want your kids able to process in real time with you. So emotionally healed, they trust you can handle it. And they learn how to trust themselves too. Now, back to the number one thing you wrote down that you wanted. And don't cheat yourself and wait to claim one thing you want. Make it big, make it juicy, make it a little scary, but super exciting. And recognize you haven't seen anyone in your family do this yet. That's why it's confronting. But you can be the example. Okay. Without emotional healing, there is no getting what you want or receiving what you want. You might want to write that down too. Anything you don't have that you say you want, you don't have it because there's no emotional safety. Your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Okay? So you sabotage. You shut down. You fight it. You run away, give up, throw in the towel. There's no getting what you want. There's no receiving what you want without emotional safety. Then, even if you get it, you can't keep it, okay, without emotional safety. You cannot receive what you want without emotional safety, and you cannot keep what you want without emotional safety. Third thing, you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy this dream, this thing you wanted without emotional safety. There's no receiving, keeping, or enjoying without emotional safety. I want you getting what you want and knowing how to hold it and trusting yourself that you'll be able to hold on to it. And I want you enjoying it because that's the point of this life. To receive, to keep, enjoy the good stuff. And so many of you are here this week because you're really good at overcoming. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's an amazing skill set. I've been a hell of an overcomer myself. But there's so much more to life than overcoming and making the best of and managing and coping. And this week, we are really going for it. Opening you up to the good stuff as the rule, not the exception. Opening you up to being someone who loves herself and is so proud of who she is and who she's become and how consistent she's able to be in an emotionally available and an emotionally regulated, emotionally safe way. Day 2, tomorrow, we are going to go deep, 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 buckle up on survival and the pieces of your survival self and survival mode that nobody's ever taught you before. I'm going to introduce a brand new tool, hot off the freaking presses. I can't wait to show it to you tomorrow. The Emotional Healing Map. And I'm going to break down for you survival in a way that hopefully makes it really unattractive and really life-changing and liberating for you. I want you to understand why you've been stuck and you couldn't figure it out. And I want to help you break through. And so what that means is we are going to go into some places that, again, might trigger you. But I want us leaning in to the triggers. I want us leaning in to our survival selves, giving her compassion and love and gentleness so she can rest and stop trying to take over your life. What happens is this. We already touched on it, but just to recap, you get triggered. You literally age regress, okay, back to the age you got stuck and the emotion that got stuck. And life will keep poking its finger into where you're not healed yet to show you, bitch, this hasn't healed. How do you know it hasn't healed? It hurts. It stings. Emotions aren't the problem. How we run from them is the problem. And your kids are learning how to avoid their emotions by watching you. What you do with your emotions teaches them what to do with theirs. It's all good news this week. There's no bad news. You have certainly come to the right place. I am so excited. Tomorrow is going to be phenomenal. If you can be with me live, be with me live. Tonight, you're going to get an email with a worksheet. This is experiential. Anybody that sends me their completed worksheet every day this week will get put into a giveaway for a single 90-minute breakthrough coaching session with me. It's years worth of work. Every one session with me, it's years worth of work. Life-changing. So I want to know your answers. I want to see your work. I want to see your worksheets. Everybody that shares every single day this week, all 5 worksheets, you get thrown into a giveaway and a raffle to win a free session with me. If you get stuck, message me. You're not alone. I got your back. I got you, boo. You're not going to freak me out. And you're certainly not going to be too much. Do the worksheet. Show up every day. Think of yourself as going through the Remember Who the Fuck You Are bootcamp to be the #1 success story that comes out of it. Not the one case that couldn't heal. Because your case was too far gone. Approach this like you are already a guaranteed success story. Because you are. You're not here by accident. You are here for a reason. And your kids are about to have a next level. Mother and your family is about to have a next level experience of emotional safety just because you are brave enough to go first and do this work. You are the cycle breaker. Let's not be confused about that. Your family, your business, the world, they all need you healed so you can make your biggest difference. And you deserve to be free. Healing is freedom. Emotional healing means you go past understanding and you're actually able to fully and permanently heal. And I don't think there's anything sexier than an emotionally healed woman. We're amazing. Emotional healing, it really is the fountain of youth. You will age regress in a beautiful way, not in the triggered way, with emotional healing. I want to hear from you. Submit your worksheets to Rebeccah at RebeccahSilence.com. Your questions, your concerns, your #1 most important thing you want, email me. Rebeccah has an H. Silence is just like be quiet. REBECCAH at RebeccahSilence.com. That's the email. Also, feel free to help me spread the word about this bootcamp. Let people know. Send them to theunsilentwoman.com. They can get caught up. They can register still. This is going to be so damn good. Healing is possible for you, I promise. I cannot freaking wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.